Welcome back to the channel. This is the Mad Dasher, and today we're going to be reacting to a video. I haven't done a reaction video in a while, but I've seen some people talking about this video. The video is called New Doordash Stacked Orders, Why Every Driver Needs to Know This. So I need to know it. I haven't seen it yet. It's by Kim's Side Money Plans. If you don't know her, give her a sub. I've been sub for a while now. She's up to 12,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I know that she's been working her butt off to be able to accomplish that, and she's getting some really awesome views. So congratulations, Kim. Awesome job. Keep it up. So let's go ahead and find out what why every driver needs to know this. I am very curious. So let's find out.
In this video, there is a big change Doordash did to stacked orders, and it can honestly change the way that they've ever been done. And It has me left a little confused and fully transparent. I don't know whether I like it. Want to know what Doordash did to these stacked orders?
I want to know.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Now, this affects every single driver, so listen up. So yesterday, I did not screenshot the beginning ones because I didn't realize it was happening until probably about the third or fourth stack order I did yesterday. So the first one came in.
Okay.
And I thought it was odd. It was 2 food deliveries.
Okay.
And one was close, one was a little further away. And they had me do a pickup. And I go pick it up, and then it said, get it delivered. I'm like, oh, that's weird, whatever. So I delivered the McDonald's, and then it had me go to the second restaurant, and then they had me deliver that. Okay, that one's done.
Okay, so essentially what she's saying is that you're doing one order, then the other order on a stacked order, when normally on a stacked order. And I will say, I know that there's a lot more video left, but I will say I like this because I mean it depends. It depends. I'll get into it more, but there's been so many times where I've been so upset that I get an order and then DoorDash stacks it with another order, and that order's not ready. I could have delivered that other order before picking up the other order, if that's what she's talking about.
So then the next one came in, and another stacked order. It was food delivery and shopping. Okay, well, the food delivery pickup was first, but then the shopping, 36 items. Now it's hot outside, and I go at the food delivery, and they give me a Frosty, and I have 36 items to shop. I'm like, how am I going to keep a Frosty unmelted for...
We've all been there.
A shop of 36 items. I don't know how to do that. So I go to verify the order that I'm expecting to go to the grocery store to go shopping. And then it says deliver the first order. And then I did the shopping. I'm like, huh. I'm like, well, thank God I don't have to worry about the defrosting while I go shopping. Less worry off my back, right? So then the pattern continued. So I'm going to put this on the screen. And this was my last order of the night last night.
Holy smokes, dude. 91 items? 91 items? Holy smokes, dude. I don't know if I could do that, man. I don't know if I could do a 91 item shopper. I guess I would need to know like what the items are. That's crazy. And you have a pickup? You have a pickup and you're shopping for 91 items? That's crazy, dude.
And this is the one I actually did screenshot so I can actually break it down. Okay, so $51.73 going 7.3 miles. Sounds awesome. By the way, why isn't this platinum?
Okay. I guess it all depends on market and what you consider a good order. I mean, if she likes the order, then great. I'm glad. I mean, like I said, I guess it depends on what the items are. Like if these are a lot of duplicate items, like if they're like 10 lemons, 12 apples, like, yeah, great. That would be a great order. But if this is like 91 individual items, like I would need more information here to determine if I think that this is a good order or not. She says it's a good order, so maybe it's a good order after she looked at the items. I have no idea, but I wouldn't take this with a 10-foot pole if they were all individual items. No way. And depends on what store I'm shopping at. I don't know what store if I'm shopping at Wegmans, it'd be one thing. If I'm shopping at like, Five Below, I'll literally be there for 7 hours.
One was shopping, one was food delivery. But do you notice anything different about the screen? Now, I'm going to leave this up for just a little bit so you can actually get a really good look at it. So here's the difference. Before, stacked orders were 2 pickups and then 2 restaurants and then 2 drop-offs. And then you would pick both restaurants up and then deliver it. Well, not anymore. That's not how it goes. So here's what's going on. Doordash is now making you pick up from one restaurant and then deliver it. And the delivery is sometimes either close to the second restaurant or close to the first restaurant. And then you go to do the second order, pick up, drop off, or shop and drop off, whichever way the order goes. It's very interesting that Doordash has changed literally the way we do stacked orders, and we've been doing the same stacked orders for years, ever since I've been on the platform. Now,
but that's fine. It's perfectly fine that they change things. We've been asking for change. I do want to see. I do want to see one thing. Hold on. Okay, so let's just assume, right? Let's just assume that this is the stacked order that we're trying to get, right? So let's say that this is restaurant 1. And this is drop-off zone 1. And then this is restaurant number 2. And then this is drop-off zone number 2. Right? Stay with me. Okay? So you pick up 2 orders from here. You get the stacked order. You pick up 2 orders, right? And then you pick up the order from here. You drop it off here, and then the next restaurant's really close. They're essentially just saving you time in between the drop-off. I mean, in between the like drop-off and pickup. So like usually if you do like one drop-off here, or one pickup and then drop it off, you'll be waiting like 5 minutes at least for another order sometimes. I mean, depending on what time of day it is, you might get an order right away. But a lot of people probably wait for those orders. I like stacked orders because I know that I have 2 orders right away. The only let's say that the restaurant number 2 is closer to that. Like that means that you're going in one straight line pretty much. But the downside is if pickup zone is number 2 is over here and you go boom, boom, and then boom, that's kind of annoying, right? Like that would be kind of annoying, right? I can't mass whatever. Anyway, so it would be annoying if you have to go back to where you just can't. Like if pickup zone 1 and pickup zone 2 were right next to each other, obviously I'd want to go to both of the restaurants right next to each other because it's easier to do that, saves you time. I wouldn't want to go one restaurant, customer, back to the restaurant, customer. That's a pain in the butt. There's no difference between just getting an order then or not. So it can save some time if it's done right. The big problem I'm seeing, and I'm sure she's probably going to talk about this, is they are only paying you $2 base pay for this, most likely. Instead of getting $2 base pay for the first one, $2 base pay for the second one.
On the platform for over 7 years and thousands of deliveries later. And now they decided to change how we do stacked orders. So let me know, has this come to your market yet? Have you seen this? Have you noticed it? And if you have, what do you think about it? So after all these years, the only thing I kept questioning is why change now? Because
we've been begging them to change stuff. We've been making videos just like the one that she made, and just the ones like I make. We've been begging Doordash to change things because what they're doing currently sucks. That's why.
let's face it, DoorDash never does anything in the favor of the driver. They always do something to solve a problem for them. So then I was thinking,
Yes, and that's true, and that's why I'm talking about the base pay. I'm sure she's literally about to say this, but they're solving a problem because they want to have more stacked orders. So that they can pay their drivers less. They can only pay them $2 instead of $4 for 2 orders. And the only way to do that is to separate the orders so that the pickup zones aren't right next to each other. That's a way to be able to do it. And this is a much easier way to be able to do stacked orders. So it works out for them. But what I will say is if it does end up working out for the drivers and we don't have to wait that much, I don't know if I actually hate it or not.
thinking about this, and the only reason why I could think that this changed is, and I can be completely off base on this, but this is my reasoning. Is this a way of DoorDash combating multi-apping? And I'm talking multi-apping with other apps at the same time. And they're preventing it because orders were getting delivered late or orders were getting delivered cold. Think about it just for a little bit. The way that they're doing this, they're almost making it impossible for any driver to take another order on a different app.
No, I disagree. I think it's the base pay. I think one base pay for 2 orders compared to two base pays for 2 orders. I could do I get stacked orders on Uber Eats all the time. I'll do the stacked order and then I can go and turn on DoorDash and do an order. Just because I'm doing a stacked order on DoorDash doesn't mean I can't just take an Uber Eats or a Grubhub or a Spark after I'm done with that stacked order. It's 100% the base pay. It has nothing to do with fighting multiple apps, in my opinion.
Because once you drop off one, you're now going right into the second one. Before, it was definitely easier because you could pick up both DoorDash restaurants. If you got an Uber Eats going the same direction, you can pick up an Uber Eats order and then get them all delivered, especially if they were all going in the same direction or even in the same neighborhoods. Everything would be on time. It was a win-win. You got more money in your pocket. And hey, bonus.
I get what she's saying, and I understand that would combat it if every single one of the orders we got was a double stack, but they're not going to be every single order. We're going to get a lot of single orders. And to be honest, I hated getting a double stack from DoorDash because, like she said, the food would be cold because the second order wouldn't be ready. Like you would get an order that's ready at Chipotle, and then like while you're in Chipotle, they'll be like, "Hey, look, another order just came in," and you'd get a double stack, or you'd get a or like you'd be at Chipotle's and Teriyaki Madness is right next door. You'd go to the Chipotle, and while you're in the Chipotle, they're like, "Ding ding, here's a Teriyaki Madness. It's right next to you." You go over to the Teriyaki Madness, and you have to wait 10 minutes because the order just got sent to them. So I've never actually liked double stacks on DoorDash. I've never liked them. I've liked them on Uber Eats. I've never liked them on DoorDash. So if they're changing something up to make double stacks actually less annoying, where you have to wait 10 minutes, I'm for it. I don't want to wait. That's my biggest thing. I don't want to wait. I'm here for the change. I don't want to wait.
But now it's almost impossible to do because then you would be late for doing the second delivery in the DoorDash stacked order.
So don't do dirty stacking. I'm a big believer. Dirty stacking is not needed, to be honest.
So maybe DoorDash wised up to what Dashers are doing to make more money, and they're putting a stop to it. That is honestly the only reason why I can.
Nope. The base pay. I hope she watches this and she sees that I say the base pay.
Think about it, But here's the thing, if you are multi-apping and you said, okay, well, I got an Uber Eats order as well. It's definitely better than what I'm doing now. Let me just cancel this one. I'll do this one order. I'll cancel the second order. But then it goes against your cancellation rate. And then too many cancels can lead to deactivation because your rates get lower. And if you go below that 90% mark, poof, you're done from the Doordash platform. Either way, Doordash is controlling the way that Dashers are actually working the Doordash platform.
As they should. I'm sorry. You're like, some of you Dashers might disagree with me. Cancellation rating is there for a reason. You shouldn't have to cancel more than 5% of your orders per 100 order. You shouldn't have to. 5% is generous, in my opinion, and you have it for emergency purposes. Dashers are currently using it as in, if I get a better, like she said, if I get a better order on Uber Eats, I'm going to cancel that order. I don't agree with that. It shouldn't be that way. You picked up that order, you should go drop it off. You get 5% out of 100 orders. You get 5 orders out of 100 orders to make that decision. You can either save it or use it for emergencies. I've never had an emergency on DoorDash, so the only times I've ever used it is if I wanted to use it. That's straight up. That's my opinion. You guys can disagree with it all you want, but I think that the cancellation rate on Uber being like 20% before you're deactivated and 10% before you deactivate it on both of them, I think it's generous. That's my opinion.
In my opinion, I was trying to put a stop to multi-apping. I don't know. What do you think? Now, I only did this for like 5 or 6 orders yesterday. And that was after I was starting to catch on that there were changes. But from what I see, this is new. But these are some of the pros and cons that I've seen with this new process. So first of all, pros. So there's no more food getting cold if a restaurant is behind, right?
Yep.
So you pick up the first order and you have it and it's sitting in your car in your hot bag. And then you go to the second restaurant, but then the second restaurant says, oh, it's going to be another 10, 15 minutes. But the person's first order is sitting in your trunk or your car in the hot bag and it's just getting cold. Well, now there's no more food waiting and the first customer doesn't get pissed off at you. This actually helps your customer waiting because it literally is one customer at a time and they can't blame you.
And she makes a great point and I agree with it. And I think a lot of DoorDashers are so jaded at this point because of DoorDash. They forget it's not the customer's fault primarily. The customer's paying a lot of money to get this food delivered to them. A lot of money. Have you ordered DoorDash lately? It's a lot of freaking money. It's a lot of money. They should get good service, especially the ones that tip well. They absolutely should get good service. They shouldn't get cold food. If you're ordering a $15 meal at Chipotle and it costs you $45, that food better not be bad. It better not have been sitting on a shelf or in your car for 30 minutes when it's like a 5-minute drive. That's the facts.
If their order is delayed because of the stacked order, and they can't blame you for cold food when it comes to that. So to me, that's definitely a pro. Okay, so let's get into the cons. To me, when I was doing this, I felt like it wasn't efficient. Maybe it's because I'm so used to the way that stacked orders were. And in my opinion, it was very time consuming, right? You complete one order and then you move on to another order. It felt like it took longer, but maybe it's because the process was like one at a time. There is no more jumping tasks because you can't, like, there's no reason to. You know, before with stacked orders.
There could be a reason if the restaurant's if both restaurants are right next to each other, you can jump to the task of picking up the other restaurant. But you'd have to know that you're closer to the second restaurant than you are to the customer.
If DoorDash put an order in like the wrong thing, you're like, well, that makes no sense. Well, I'm going to pick this one up first because like I'm right next to the restaurant if it's early, and then I'll go to the second restaurant. Why go there and then come back? And like, you know your own area, you know your own neighborhoods, and you knew as long as it was on
But isn't that the same as this new stacked order, though? Can't you just do the same thing? I feel like you could literally do the same exact thing.
time if you could switch tasks to make it more efficient for you, but everything got delivered on time, if not earlier, because you knew what was going on and you knew your own market. But now you can't really do that if they're being done too separately.
I will say this too. The amount of times that I get a stacked order on Doordash is so minuscule. Like the percentages of stacked orders compared to all the orders I have is so minuscule that it doesn't even, I don't even think that this is going to be a factor. If anything, this just acts like you're picking up two orders. Everyone gets single orders all the time. You primarily do single orders all the time. So if you get a stacked order, it just is a guaranteed 2 orders, and you already know where you're going, and there's no wait time in between order 1 and waiting for order number 2. So there is advantages.
And not at the same time. So that feature is kind of null and void at this point, because it's not like you can go shopping first or pick up a.
Oh, okay. I see what she's saying. So in that one particular stacked order that she was talking about, you can't go shopping first before dropping off the Frosty. But if you have 2 pickups at 2 restaurants, let's say Chipotle's and Cava, and you see that Cava is closer to the first drop off, you could absolutely change tasks if it allows you to. I haven't had one of these. You could change tasks and go to Cava before the first order's dropped off. You just can't do it in a 91 item shopper with a Frosty, but you can on regular orders. But I see what she's saying.
Another restaurant because it might not be ready because they're completely separate. Crazy, right? So, bottom line, what are my thoughts on all of this? Honestly, I think I already said it, but I'll say it again. DoorDash never does anything to better the driver, and it's never in our favor. So whatever their motive is, it's definitely for solving a problem that they see on their end, not on the Dasher's end. So let me know why you think DoorDash did this big
Base
change.
pay.
Honestly, now doing a couple of them in one day, as of right now, I'm not a big fan of them. Like I said, I feel like it took me.
Okay, so if you did a couple of them, let's just say for the sake of this video, let's say you did 5 of them. So 5 times 2, okay, I don't know why I just did 52. 5 times 2, you're making $10 in base pay because it was 5 orders, stacked orders, $2 per base pay. But if you didn't do those stacked orders, you would have done 10 orders. 10 times 2 is 20. You're getting paid $20 in base pay instead of $10 in base pay. That's why DoorDash is doing this. 100%.
Longer than necessary. I felt like the process was dragged out. But once again, maybe it's because I was so used to doing it the other way. And this is just a whole new process to kind of get used to. So you're going to have to let me know, has this come to your market? What do you think of this new process? If it hasn't come to your market, do you think you would like it? Do you think you'd be like, what the heck is this? Go ahead. Let me know all your opinions in the comments down below. While you're there, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe as well while you're there. You know, I have a DoorDash.
Okay, so great video. Let me just make sure I'm gonna give it a like. Ooh, 343 likes and 5.6K views. Killing it, Kim. If you're not subscribed, make sure that you are subscribed. Hit that little subscribe button, and watch Kim's videos. It's a great video. I think she's putting out some really awesome content. Let me know what your thoughts are down below to what I said in response to her. I think it's 100% the base pay. But I got to say, I am happy that they're making some changes. I mean, like, we've been begging for some changes. At last, it's something different than the UI changes. Like, I don't care. It's like, stop changing the UI. Just change how we get orders and how we accept orders and how we bring orders to people. That's what I really want. Anyway, Remember to like my video too. I'll catch you in the next one. Mad Dasher out. Have a great day.